Hey everyone, so this week's tech video is going to show you how to take apart the TFX 3 and go ahead and clean it. What you're going to need today is a Phillips head screwdriver. I do recommend a small pick and a Q-tip. I don't need this is a Q-tip because it's a brand new loader, but I will show you where to clean it out. Okay, so first make sure there's no paint inside the hopper, and you're going to want to go ahead and open the speed feed. Press the little lever there, little button, slide this piece up. There, put your thumbnail on there, it's going to slide up, and then go ahead and open the top of the loader by pinching these two pieces together and pulling the top off. So real quick, just to give you a rundown, this part you don't really have to clean unless you really want to. First thing I would recommend, go ahead and press this button here to take the speed feed off. It's going to slide out, and then you can actually get a Q-tip inside of this spot here. Inside all this groove, so you can actually probably wash this off. I wouldn't use any chemicals or anything like that, but you can actually rinse this off, water hose, spray it down, or just a damp rag, wipe all the paint off. If you remove these three screws here, it removes this little cover that you'll see here, which holds the speed feed mount into place. So if you do have a lot of paint inside of this part here you want to clean, these three screws are what you want to do. I would recommend be very careful in over tightening these, because if you strip them out, there goes the top shell of your hopper. These two screws here on the back actually hold this little tab in place. Again, you can clean behind there, but it's not needed. It looks like these screws here, these four screws you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe hold on the color kit here. So if you want to really do a deep clean and clean underneath these, again, be careful, don't over tighten these, because if you strip them, then your hopper is going to look funky because it's not going to stay together. So that's a pretty quick rundown on the top, pretty straightforward there. When you take apart this piece here, be careful because the tab is inside of there, so don't lose that tab. Make sure you pay attention to how it goes in if you do pull that out. Okay, pull it off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and move this tray out. So what you want to do is you're going to take a tray out. I'm going to pinch this pieces here. I'm going to put my index finger there, my thumb is going to push up just like that and pull this out. Put that off to the side. Again here, if you want to do a deep clean, you can pull these two Phillips head screws out here. The front tab comes out, get a little bit of paint behind there. I am going to show you how to take out the button though, because the buttons can kind of stick over time. It's going to wear out, so I want to show you how to do that. So what you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver, and there's going to be one screw right here on the inside. Again, all of this, remember, when you're putting these back in, you don't want to over tighten them because you can't strip them out. Okay, so take your Phillips head screwdriver from the inside and unscrew this screw all the way. I would recommend to do one section at a time. I don't know if all these screws are exact same length, so you wouldn't want to put one that's longer than the other one into a spot and poke through the side of your hopper. So at least label them if you're going to pull them out. Okay, so once you get that one screw out, this little plastic piece here will come out. So these are actually your springs for your buttons. It's a pretty cool design. As you press for power, it presses against this. So there's not a small spring that's going to shoot anywhere or anything like that. It's pretty nice, so lay that off to the side. And then, be careful on this because things can fall out. I've got my hand on the back of this the whole time. Once you've got the screw out, then these buttons will come right out the back, all in one assembly. So this piece here I'm going to hold down away from the camera and press out from the inside. This is going to be the colored piece. And the reason why I do this is because everything's going to come out together, just like that. So that may take you a couple times to figure out what I mean by that. But this is going to be the inside. Show you here, lay that down. This is going to be where the buttons are, so wipe all that down there, clean that out real well with a Q-tip, and make sure it's dry before you put it back together. This is the back of the button pad. Let's see if I can hold this together to show you. So this is what your button looks like. So you have left, right, so your power, it's labeled power, so power logo is going to go on your left hand side. There's a little 3/4 spin arrow here, that's for your anti-jam, and this little 3 little grooves here, that's where your lights go. This all falls out. So the left side will come out, the right side will come out, and then the little power LED plastic piece comes out as well. So you clean that. Again, I wouldn't use any chemicals or anything, but wipe it down real well, and it just places back in. And also, the same way I took it out by letting it fall at the bottom, I'm going to put that back in all as one assembly here. So, oops. So that's why you want to be careful not to lose any of this stuff here. Okay, so yep, so the This is the anti-jam. It's going to go on your left side. So it's going to be opposite because I'm doing it upside down. So the anti-jam 3/4 circle is going to go on your left-hand side when you have this upside down. Your power button will go on your right-hand side. Good to go. And then I'm going to take it just like this and lay it on the back of the hopper. And line up. All you really got to do is line up this main hole here, and you're good to go. And I'm going to hold it all together, and I'm just going to press it all in place and hold all my fingers, or hold this all the way together just like that. That way none of that falls out. Go ahead and take your little spring piece, and that just, again, that lines up. You line up the hole right where it's supposed to go. It sits on a little shelf, pretty straightforward. And take your screw and put that in here. Again, tighten that up. Again, just snug there, and make sure you can actually feel spring tension against the buttons, and you know you did it right. Make sure I have it in. You also want to make sure this little tray here is level. Okay, so that part's a little more complicated, but there's your bottom tray. Now you want to go ahead and grab the inside piece. This one's going to be a little more complicated. This is probably the most important part. So the top part here is where most of the paintballs, where all the paintballs are going to go through your hopper. So you want to make sure this stays pretty clean. Same for the ramp here. On the bottom, you have your little sensors. So these sensors here, if they get dirty, they'll act like there's a paintball always inside here. So it constantly will try to spin. Or sorry, no, it will constantly, it won't spin because it's acting like a paintball's inside. If for some reason you have paintballs inside here and it's constantly trying to spin, something's wrong with this little board here probably, and the eyes need to be replaced or cleaned or something. Make sure your connection here are correct. So what I would recommend, to take a Q-tip first. There 2 sensors here on the board, and there's one on the back here. So I believe sender receiver, if I understand right. But you want to go ahead and take, I don't recommend to unscrew these screws here, but you can if you really want to. But you can take a Q-tip and clean these little slots out. You want to make sure there's no paint gunked up in there on both sides. So there's 2 on this side, and there's 1 on the bottom. So go ahead and clean that out. That is what's going to determine whenever it feeds and when it doesn't feed. So my finger's in there, it's sensing it, and when it's not. Good to go. Okay, so go ahead and Q-tip those, clean those out. On the bottom here, you can see your motor and then the gear. You want to make sure that this gear stays pretty clean. It does have grease on there, that is correct. I don't believe you need to re-grease it, but without taking all this assembly apart, you can see where the gears are. So you can see if they have dirt in there or not. So I wouldn't recommend to physically take this apart unless you absolutely have to, but you're able to clean every one of these gears out without taking it apart. Even if you have to, let's see if we can manually spin this. Let's see here. Yeah, so I can manually spin it from the other side, just grabbing all the way at the bottom and slowly spinning it. And so I would actually be able to clean every one of these gears with like a rag or something like that if I need to. So go ahead and clean the bottom there. All right, so that's pretty much the main 2 parts I would clean on the bottom. And then the top part, here's where it gets complicated. This little black nub, whatever you want to call it here, drive pin, it's under spring tension. So when I pull this up, I'm going to pull it towards the camera. I'm going to take it and I'm going to spin it. Because if you can see, hopefully you can see these little notches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notches, but only 3 of them are attached to this piece here. So there's 3 little, like a triangle. 1, 2, 3. But I'm just going to pull this up and I'm going to spin it 1 notch. It doesn't matter counterclockwise or clockwise. I'm going to pull it up and turn it and put it back in. What I did was I moved which notch on the blue pieces are in. So now this is able to come out. So let me explain that one more time. This has 6 notches. Only 3 of them go all the way through the bottom. 3 of them have a little ledge. The ledges help keep the pressure on it to keep it in. Once you pull it out and go over, those little pieces go all the way through, which allows it to release. Then you have your black rubber feed, basically feed cone or feed drive feed in here. You're going to go take this and just try to pull this out. This part can kind of be a pain, but you pull it out like that. And you do have your blue, this is like your spring resistance on the inside of it. I don't know what they officially call it, but so this piece does come out. So you can take it, you just kind of pry it up. You have to be real careful. These are plastic, so make sure you're real careful with all this. Good to go. And you wipe all that down. Same for this, wipe all this down. Looks like there's a gasket on the inside. Just make sure that stays in good condition. And then once you wipe that down, just place it back in, and it'll go flush all the way around. So I like this as well. So I'm able to see the other side of the gears. Let's see if that's right. Yep, so I can see one side of the gears on this one, and then the other side I can see on the inside. So again, I don't think you physically have to take apart this entire loader just to be able to clean these gears. I think between canned air or a rag or a Q-tip or anything like that, be careful with a Q-tip getting anything inside the gears, but you could see if anything is really dirty in there at the local field. Again, you can blow out, use the air there, or even from your gun, and kind of blow the air out of this, or blow the dirt out of this without physically taking it apart. So you can see all the gears rotating right here. So you can see if there's anything in your way. All right, so put it back in, wipe everything down. These are little rubber pieces. So we'll see if these wear out over time. This is a brand new loader, so no wear and tear on this. This is just gonna sit straight down on the bottom. So it's gonna kind of get stuck, and then I'm gonna rotate it until it clicks all the way to the bottom here. Otherwise, it kind of sits on a ledge. And same thing here. This is the most important part. If you don't have this set, it's not gonna have any tension on it, and it's going to pull up. So again, there's three, you probably cannot see this, but there's 3 notches on this piece that have to lock into the blue piece. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull this up and rotate it. And now, this piece has resistance on it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. You're good to go. If you guys have any questions about that, I know that might be a little confusing, go ahead and comment below and I can type something out for you. I do answer other questions, but that's pretty much everything you need. Wipe everything down here. Again, I wouldn't use any chemicals. You can test your battery power on the inside here. So you press this little bitty red button here. Tell you how much battery is in there. You do have a USB-C plug in here. You want to make sure that stays clean as well. So be careful though, don't damage that. So that way you can continue to charge your hopper. Excuse me. So, okay, yeah, go ahead and put everything back together. Put the back of the loader in first. These 2 tabs here have to be up. Press down. Put the loader. Good to go. And then go ahead and put your speed feet back on. And latch it in. And you're good to go. If you guys have any questions about that, go ahead and comment below, please. If I missed anything, please let me know. If you have used the TFX, or if you've cleaned it yourself, or if you have any feedback for other players that might be looking to pick up the TFX, go ahead and comment below. Don't be afraid to give your opinion on that. Be nice though. You know, keep it PG if you could. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. If you found the video useful, go ahead and hit like. If you like paintball videos, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do release 2 videos every week. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.